Hey there, family. Welcome to Pup Talk Weekly, episode 2, Who's Your Daddy? All jokes aside, today's episode is to talk about how this dog and that dog could actually produce this little baby here. So we want to talk about genetics, color coding in the Doberman world. I just love this smell, the puppy smell. This is Journey, in case you guys were wondering. She's a fat little roly-poly. But anyway, so yes, it is possible for two black Dobermans to make a red, or in today's video, we're going to technically code it brown just for understanding purposes. And we're going to talk about how that's possible and why we do things the way we do here at Campbell's Family Dobermans. So I did make a couple little artsy things to help explain this a little bit better than me just talking about it. But in genetics, everything's coded with letters, and it helps with breaking down different genes, whether it's dominant, meaning it's always going to overpower everything, or recessive, meaning it can be carried and not show through. But if there's two recessives, then it will come, to light. So we'll talk about the first coding color of black and tan, or black and rust Dobermans. They are genetically coded with capital B, okay? Black. There is another coding of capital B, little lowercase b, and that is where they carry the recessive gene for brown. But today we're just going to focus on this for easier understanding. So a black Doberman and their genetic coding has a capital B and a capital B, okay? Then we're going to talk about the brown, or the reds. So red and rust, brown and rust have two lowercase b's. So for any dog that is brown that's in the Doberman world, it's going to have two lowercase b's, okay? Now, we know that there are things in the American lineage, different colors such as the fawn and the blue. Those are considered dilute. So in order to explain where those come into play, then we're going to talk about the dilute genes. So for a non-dilute gene, so I did half black, half red, because only black or brown or black or red are considered non-dilute. So non-dilute is two capital D's, okay? And then for our dilute, which is the blue and the fawn, or otherwise called Isabella, we have blue and fawn. Dilute is recognized by two lowercase d's, okay? So, in order to explain how two blacks can make a brown or a red, I'm going to go into it a little bit further with the gene coding. And we have this lovely thing. I ripped it here, so try to ignore that. So when looking at genetic coding for these dogs, we send in their genetic testing. I use Embark. People use Wisdom Panel. People have used GenSoul. It just depends on which ones will give you your genetic color coding. But Embark will send you back your results on your dog, and it will tell you their coat color. So if your coat color comes back capital B, capital D, capital D, then your dog is a black non-dilute, which means if this dog is bred to any color dog, they're only going to have black puppies, okay? Because they can only give a capital, and capital means dominant, means it's going to overpower all of the recessive. We'll get into it a little bit further when I show you the squares and how I calculate things, but the next one is lowercase b, capital D. This is a brown or a red Doberman that is not dilute, okay? The B's represent the color, so big is black, lower is brown, and then capital D means non-dilute. Now here's what I was talking about with the black being a carrier of brown. There are some Dobermans that have a capital B and a lowercase b, but they're black. And then they have the two uppercase D's, which means they're not dilute, but this means that they carry brown, so they can produce a brown puppy. And then we have our blues, which are capital B, lowercase b, that means a black dilute, and then the double D's is the dilute here. And then we have our fawn, which is two lowercase b's and two lowercase d's. Now, moving forward with the Punnett squares, that's back in biology days, right? We did these Punnett squares to cross, I think it was fruit flies, and see which, if we cross a green eye one with a black eye one, what will happen, okay? So we'll start with the dominant. So on this Punnett square, I made mom dominant black, and I made dad brown, okay, or red. So I put mom up here and dad along the side. So if I cross mom, she can only give one or the other. So she can only give a dominant, right? Dad can only give recessive. So when I cross them, this puppy is going to have a capital B and a lowercase b. Same thing for this one, same thing for this one, across the board. So all of these puppies, because they have a capital B, are black, even though dad was brown, okay? All of the puppies are black. So there's 0 brown puppies or 0 red puppies in this litter. Now, what somebody can do when they're trying to get where they want red puppies, they have to look for either a carrier like this or 2 browns, basically. So what we do here at Campbell's Family Dobermans, I specifically breed 2 carriers so that I can make sure that I have the opportunity of getting red puppies. So this is what our genetic coding looks like on pretty much all of our dogs, except for our reds, of course, that have the 2 lowercase. So we took one of those puppies from the last square I just showed you. So we have a carrier here. So big B, little b, black, but carries brown. And then we bred this one to a red. So we have lowercase b, lowercase b. So now we have mom on top, which capital B, lowercase b, dad along the side, lowercase b, lowercase b. So then mom can only give one or the other. So in this puppy, she's going to give the capital and the dad's giving the lowercase. This is a carrier here. Then we have lowercase from mom and lowercase. So now we have a red puppy. So we have one black with carrier brown, and then we have one red puppy. And then same thing here. Red puppy, carrier brown. So in this litter with this cross, you're going to get 50% black puppies and 50% brown puppies. And this is what we do here at Campbell's Family Dobermans, because we really want to ensure that we're getting a good split, because we like both colors. We will never have dilutes here. Dilutes they're known for more health issues. They're known to be prevalent for allergies. They're known even for aggression issues. There's a lot of things that go into that you can look up, and if you have time, or maybe another Pup Talk that I'll actually talk about that. But because of that, we specifically follow the red and brown FCI standards from European standards, just because we do agree with it more, and we find that our dogs have been very healthy. So if you have questions about this genetic stuff, it's fun, it's interesting, but there's all these different crosses you can do, but this is what we prefer here. Have a great day, guys.